So dudes, welcome to Insurgency welcome to Insurgency Sandstorm. This game is going to be free to play from this video's upload date of December 10th to December 17th. And I think it might be up your alley if you need a break from Siege for a bit. It's a good time to get into it, as the most recent update has added modding support for custom levels, game modes, and gameplay modifications to be created by the community, as well as the new but classic control point-based PvP mode, Domination, that you're probably familiar with from COD. I'm going to break down what makes Insurgency Sandstorm stand out, as well as some of my own advice for playing it. Special thanks to Insurgency:*Sandstorm and Focus Home Interactive for sponsoring this video. And just a fair warning, not like you guys care, but I'm not really going to make an effort to like police my usage of swear words in this video because the game features a lot of this.
Roger, Cock Rogers.
Negative!
Oh yeah, Roger.
Bush!
No,
No, man, no!
First time playing the new Call of Duty mode.
No!
Insurgency Sandstorm is a team-based, tactical first-person shooter with PvP, co-op, and competitive game modes based on lethal close-quarters combat and objective-oriented multiplayer gameplay. I'll leave a link to the game overview trailer here in the description, but most of my time was spent with the new Domination mode, so my experiences are relatively limited to that so far. Having launched in December of last year, the team at New World Interactive has released several massive free updates, including 3 new maps, 3 new game modes, 10 new weapons, dozens of new cosmetics, and a ton of technical optimization to improve performance issues that plenty of people were upset about at launch. The game runs silky smooth on my system though. You can check out my specs in the description as well. Insurgency Sandstorm takes place in the country of, where do you think, pitting the good guys versus the bad guys. Picking classes is very similar to how it works in Rising Storm 2 or Red Orchestra 2. And if you don't have enough of the specialist classes, well, you're gonna get reamed out for it.
Do you want fire support? What the hell happened to our fucking commander?
Your quote, fucking commander can bring in things that make noises like this. And some game modes spawn that. For example, with the gunner class, you can only bring 2 of these guys, and their job is to get a really big gun, plop it on a thing, and do this. There's certain classes that you can't have too many of on a team, but you can have as many riflemen as you want. This applies to every mode except the Domination mode, which you can pick whatever the hell you want in terms of guns and attachments here. Some guns even have unique attachments, like this G36K has this scope that is unique to it because it, in reality, has a scope made for this gun. Game modes consist of push, kind of like Rush and Battlefield, in which you... It's like Rush from Battlefield, except it works both ways. You have to climb your way to... It's control points. Firefights, capture all the flags, or shoot all the bad guys. Capturing flags respawns your teammates. Apparently, no one plays this one. Skirmish, capture all the enemy objectives and destroy their weapons cache at the end. The gunplay in this game is no joke. Gunfights in Insurgency Sandstorm are different than COD, Siege, or whatever famous competitive shooters are out there on the market right now, because the game has an intense focus on detail and realism, specifically to how these weapons would supposedly function in real life. What you know about guns through video games will not apply here. In Siege, you don't really have idle sway, that sort of side-to-side motion your reticle makes when you aim down your weapon's sights. This mechanic is done in games like Battlefield and COD to keep guns from being complete and utter laser beams at long range, and to give an incentive to use attachments to counterbalance it. While standing up, the idle sway is at its worst, and more noticeable with scopes, meaning that if you fight at long ranges, you have to make an active effort to counterbalance the idle sway while trying to track your target. And that means that gunfights aren't so much about twitch shooting like a Kovacs aim training session, and more so like you've signed up to be Army Strong. You can only run and gun, kind of, but that doesn't mean you can just go around sneaky beaky like.
Securing me!
What's going on? What's going on?
Additionally, recoil is supposed to be simulated by each of these guns, akin to how they supposedly handle in reality, meaning that a 9mm submachine gun isn't going to have that sort of kick that a fully automatic machine gun has. But fully automatic machine guns aren't meant to be used like this. They're meant to be used like this. A lot of guns in Insurgency Sandstorm come with a bipod by default like the Galil. It's not so much about cover and tactics as it is, I can't fucking aim my gun unless I do this. And even if you're using a gun that has, quote, less recoil, it still has a lot of recoil. And since the time to kill in this game is so short, you're pretty much better off using single fire in 9 out of 10 engagements. Gunfights look a lot more like this than this.
Oh no.
It also means that gunfights never, ever, ever end
I
like
loved it
this.
When I was in the NFL, like for 6-7 years, I wanted to just love.
Because the same kind of gunfight will end like this. My point is, the time to kill in this game is really fast. Oh, what the f-
Almost the game. Charlie, hold Charlie.
Ah, Christ! They got problems!
Insurgency Sandstorm is what we call a tactical shooter. And I don't mean tactical shooter like, oh, I don't know if this mechanic is this. I think we should change this, for gameplay reasons. No, fuck your gameplay reason. Insurgency isn't a milsim game, but it is a shooter with a great deal of focus on realism. When you reload your gun, you have to swap between different magazines. You don't just magically merge all your bullets into a big pool of bullets that you can just pull out of your butt cheeks. And being able to string up frags is helpful and important, but it's not the end game.
Everybody listen to what the fuck I'm saying. Get on one site. Stay on a point, stay on a point. I'm coming up here, everybody stay on a damn point. Stay outside, stay outside. Go to A. Somebody go to A. Everybody go to A. Come on! We got it, boys, we got it! We got it!
Voice chatter in this game is very common. I'm really surprised by how insular this community seems. You'll run into an eclectic cast of characters in your journey to Sandstorm.
No, Spotify, no!
Such classic tunes.
Insurgency is a game that does not reward mistakes. You're gonna think that you downed somebody when in reality they just tanked your shots. And then you're gonna look like a frickin' doofus because you got peeked. But then you're gonna win a gunfight and feel like, oh shit. I just barely won that. Your buddy is gonna lay down smoke grenades on an important choke point and you're gonna give him a little bit of cover fire and pop bad guys as they come out. I always describe Rainbow Six Siege as a bit of a chess match with guns, but I'd probably describe Insurgency Sandstorm as neurosurgery with guns. At the end of the day, it's not gonna be about frags or whether you called in a 25 kill streak. It's gonna be whether or not you played the objective. It's a game that requires you to make very deliberate movements, actions, and decisions, all in very, very short amounts of time. Kind of like Rainbow Six Siege, but different. And that's all you need to know about Insurgency Sandstorm. Let me know if you guys would like some more content for this game in the future. Thanks for watching. Deuces.